Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown, Dunkirk, and Westfield, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County.
The Chautauqua Center.
Are you looking for affordable medical, dental, or counseling services? The Chautauqua Center is always accepting new patients at their Jamestown and Dunkirk locations. They offer discounted prescriptions and accept all insurances. From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Doc Hamels, and welcome to another edition of Chautauqua Sunrise. Well, I don't know about you, but I had a rumble and a bang and a bolt of lightning this morning that woke me up. But it's certainly well-needed rain that the area has been needing. I don't know how your garden has been, but mine's been screaming for water for the last 3 weeks. So it's nice to get the rain. If you're on vacation, well, I'm sorry. Tomorrow's going to be a nice day. But we really desperately needed the water here, and so we'll deal with it. Good morning, everybody, and welcome all across the world as we stream live throughout the world. Do we go beyond the world? Or do we go up into space? I don't know where we go. We could. Anyways, we say hello to folks down in Thailand and over in Burma, India. London often checks in with us, across the United States, of course, all of Chautauqua County. I want to say good afternoon to all of my listeners at WRFA 107.9, low power to the people, over in Jamestown. Tuesdays, I'll get it out at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Glad you could join us. As a reminder for everybody, I like to kind of talk about this once in a while. Kind of keeps me on track. Is what's the purpose of Chautauqua Sunrise? And people say, what do you mean got a purpose? Don't you just talk? It's more than that. I look and search for my guests that talk about some really interesting things, primarily in the Chautauqua region. We go into Pennsylvania a little bit. We go up above towards the Buffalo once in a while, even in the Cattaraugus County when we had Brad Poole here and so on. But I like to look for interesting things that you don't typically hear about, or at least get an opportunity to delve into in an extended kind of way. Yeah, you can read about an event or an item. Yeah, they give you maybe 3 or 4 inches in the paper. But here we can really talk for a good 40 minutes, often 35 minutes, on a particular topic. So I welcome you to let me know if there's something that's interesting, especially in our area, that you'd like us to take a look at. And so if you can send us an email, and they pop up all our contact information here in a second. But let me know. We're here for you. This is public access TV. We do it for all of us here in our community to share information. And there it is. You can go chautauquasunrise@gmail.com. You can call the station here, the same number, 753-5225. Leave a message. And for instance, the other day, I got an email. Someone said, I do this, and would you like to have me on your show? And I thought, wow, this is really cool stuff. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's later in the season, but I had never heard of it before, and that's what I'm always looking for. And then there's just the everyday things that we talk about constantly: health, veteran services, services for seniors and so forth, kids stuff, things that just regular things we talk about. But every once in a while, we like to talk about something that's a little bit different. And today's show is one of those things. We've talked about it before, but we're going to come at it from a different angle, so stay tuned. So anyways, if you have an idea, give me a holler. Now, throughout the show, we are live. You can give us a call at that number. And if you have an announcement for your club or organization, if you have a special anniversary or birthday, you want to give a shout out to somebody, we can do that right here. It's a lot of fun. We don't hear very often from you, but every once in a while we do. Glad to have you. Now, how do you do it? You call the number, 716-753-5225, and our good friend Randy Burt is on the other end of the phone. He pushes a button, hello, and you tell him whatever you want to tell him. So you can either talk to me live or my guest if you have a question for my guest, or you just give the message and they write it down, they bring it in here, and I read it. So don't be shy. We're here for you as a community. Well, how's your gardens going? Well, mine, as I report every week, has been doing pretty well. The sweet peppers that I thought were going to be sweet bell peppers are looking more like long pepperoncini. I look at the pictures on the packet. That's not what they look like. Anyway, somebody mixed up the seeds, and but I've been nursing this little thing that started out the size of a marble. Now it's about yay big. I have a watermelon. We'll see. Hope I can get to the end before the plant dies and enjoy the sweetness of a watermelon. Anyways, lots of tomatoes are out right now, green beans, zucchini, all good fresh vegetables and fruits. Pears and apples are coming out pretty soon. They're going to be picking grapes here soon. If this is your first time in the area, you need to come out our way out here in the west side of the county, northwest, however you look at it. Come out on a nice, warm September evening, early October, and just drive around and just smell the Concord grapes. It's just unbelievable. But I hear they're going to start picking Concords about September 24th, which isn't that far away. So anyways, farmers markets in Westfield and Jamestown and a few other places, but those two are the bigger ones in the area. Saturday mornings, as a rule. Get your fresh produce. Okay. Hey, we got a caller already, and we're only like 10 minutes into the show. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Doc. This is Mark Wilson. How are you?
Hey, Mark, how are you? Long time no see.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful day. I thought I'd give a call in. We saw you on Facebook, and we thought I'd give a call in and share a couple of announcements with you.
Sure, go for it.
Absolutely. Well, we've got the Southern Tier Tri Club that's occurring this Wednesday night. We have our last race of the season in Casadega, New York, and it starts at 5:45 p.m., and we always need volunteers, especially kayakers. And then this Saturday is the inaugural Casadega Man, which is considered a half Ironman triathlon, which is a 1.2-mile swim, a 56-mile bike ride, and a 13.1-mile run. And it's not too late for you to get in, you know.
I'm just, first of all, the 1.2-mile swim, I already drowned. No, but you guys wear wetsuits, right? You tell me you can't sink, right?
That is correct. Wetsuits are legal, yes.
56-mile bike ride, right?
Yes, sir.
I can do half that. And what was the last part?
A 13.1-mile run.
This all in the same day?
It is in the same day.
You know, Mark, you're amazing. You're like the perfect example of the human body in motion. That's like, how many people are you going to have sign up? How many you got so far?
We have 110 signed up right now. We're anticipating a couple more signing up, especially teams. You actually can do it as a team. Someone could swim, and then cyclist can ride and then a runner can run, of course. So you can make up a team. It does count, and it's the inaugural one, so we're so excited, and we do need volunteers still.
All right. Mark, what's a good number for people to call say, if they want to volunteer?
It would be, my wife's number. They can call her, Tanya Wilson, at 716-353-1288.
1288. Okay, and that's this coming Saturday? September?
This Saturday. Yes, sir.
A week from today, then.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, good luck to you. If you don't see me in the water, I'm cheering for you on the sidelines.
Oh, that's great, Doc. Thank you so much for your support. Good luck with your show today.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Okay, folks, it's Mark Wilson from his group there over in Casadega. They do a lot of kayaking contests and swimming and running and Ironman. I mean, this guy is like, you would think he would be like this big muscle-bound guy. He's trim. I don't think he has any fat on him like that. He's been like in 10 of these things. Bob Burke is one of those Ironman competitors too. But wow, 100 competitors. Justin, what do you think?
Not it.
Not it? Do the Chautauqua Sunriser competition? Maybe next year. All right, folks, let's see how easy that was. Mark called in, and we were happy to do that. All right, so I got a few announcements to make here, and then we're going to take a little breather, and then we're going to get right to our show. So let's stick around here. Okay. This is from Infinity, and they have really gotten hit hard this year with the COVID and their fundraising activities, but Infinity being what Infinity is, they came up with a real creative solution. And I want you to know that Chautauqua Sunrise has been one of the sponsors of this, so I want to read it to you. So let's pop up there it is, picture. Infinity Visual and Performing Arts is excited to begin their inaugural, lots of inaugurals, Phoenix Fest, a virtual music and arts event to showcase local musicians, local artists, Infinity students, and a whole lot more. All right? Now, this has been going on since the 21st of the month, so tomorrow, I guess, is the end of it. The grassroots fundraising initiative comes on the heels of COVID-19 pandemic, which caused the cancellation of all of Infinity's 2020 fundraising events, including their annual campaign, art market and auction, spring student showcase, and local music showcase. Imagine, that's a real kick in the gut. All right, so it started on the 21st, ending tomorrow, with the goal to involve as many community members as possible to spread the word, spark excitement for Infinity's mission, and ignite the power of grassroots local giving. Visit Infinity's website and social media pages for an event schedule and additional opportunities to help spread the word. Up-to-date information can be found online at Infinity Performing Arts, all one word, .org, or you can go to their Facebook page and just look for Infinity Visual Performing Arts. The Infinity Phoenix Fest, say that 10 times fast, Infinity Phoenix Fest, will take place completely virtually, and all events will be visible by the public through Infinity's Facebook page, as well as a variety of participating local musician and artist pages. Local musicians and artists will host live performances, demonstrations, and creation of art. Infinity will showcase a series of pre-recorded videos and live studio performances, and all events will utilize shared donate buttons to raise funds to support Infinity in their youth arts education programming. Infinity is also encouraging supportive community members to create peer-to-peer fundraisers through their online giving platform, share posts and events to help spread the word, or even sponsor lesson rooms at the Infinity Center. Phoenix Fest will also feature an online auction and basket raffles featuring local goods. All right, now these are words from Shane Hawkins, the executive director. Each year, our team at Infinity conducts more than a dozen fundraising efforts and events to raise $60,000 to $70,000. We're talking some serious change here. To help with Infinity's annual operational costs. The COVID-19 pandemic caused the cancellation of nearly all Infinity fundraising initiatives this year. Phoenix Fest is a collection of our favorite parts of many of our canceled fundraisers. It is a community event It incorporates our musician and artist community, and it provides a virtual performance venue and a show for everyone in our community. We miss our students, we miss our performances and audiences, and we hope this event will celebrate community, set the stage for Infinity's comeback after COVID, and bring everyone who tunes in a week of engaging Phoenix Fest entertainment. I hopped on the other day, and there was my old music partner, Will Russell, and he was doing a promo, and he looked really good and sounded great. All funds raised will support programming at the Infinity Center, which has continued to serve students with virtual private lessons, small virtual group classes, and even online student performances during the shutdown. Infinity continues to offer enrollment for virtual learning opportunities as well as temporary and long-term scholarship options for families in need. Infinity's new program year starts September 1, 2020. And for more information, give them a call at 664-0991. Okay, so support them if you can. Moving along, we have a program coming up through, Prevention Works. It's called Active Parenting Classes. They actually ask or invite you to join them on upcoming active parenting classes for ages 5 through 12. It's a series of 6 virtual 2-hour sessions via Zoom video communications. The dates are September 2, so that's coming up quick, 9, 16, 23, 30, and October 2. It's from 12 to 2. And you do it online. You do it right out of your own home, on your phone, wherever. To sign up for the parenting classes, just call Kathleen Colby at 664-3608, who's the training director at Prevention Works. Active parenting will give you the skills to achieve a fuller, more satisfying family life and help your children achieve greater happiness and success. Now, it goes without saying right now, families are getting stressed out. They're getting ready for school. They're trying to figure out how they're going to do this and that. They've been under the gun since March, where a lot of the kids have been home and having to do homeschooling. So think about some of these topics that maybe will be helpful to you. Open up lines of communication. Teach responsibility, courage, and other important character traits. Encourage school success in 7 steps. Prevent future problems with drugs and alcohol and sex. Use nonviolent discipline that really works. Diffuse power struggles with your children. Stimulate independence as your child grows older. Now, some of these things sound kind of basic, but when was the last time you had a heart-to-heart talk with other parents and maybe somebody that's been trained in this area? This is an opportunity to take a look at some of those things. So again, 664-3608. Give Kathleen a Colby if you want to participate in that. It's free of charge. Northwest Arena announces limited reopening on August 31. That's Monday. The Northwest Arena, a downtown anchor for sports and events throughout the year, announces it will reopen for limited activities on the main rink starting the 31st of August. The reopening will follow recommendations by New York State and Centers for Disease Control. Groups and individuals may rent the main rink for low-contact activities such as hockey clinics, drills, and private figure skating. Skate and shoot times will be offered shortly after reopening by reservation only. Keith Martin, executive director at the arena, anticipates that backyard curling leagues will resume Monday, October 12th, with registrations to be announced in September. Gosh, that would be fun. I'd like to do that. For the time being, the walking track, Weight Watchers meetings, public skating, and ice bumper cars will be on hold, as will the reopening of the cafe and lounge. Further details on COVID-19 protocols and guidelines will be released next week, along with the launch of a refreshed website. According to Martin, he says, we're looking forward to announcing further plans for reopening and expanding our offerings in the weeks and months to come. For information about ice rentals, contact Craig Hindeleader, Director of Operations, and you give him a call at 484-2624. And one more announcement that just came in. The Ripley Free Library is having a book and bake sale on September 12th outside from 10 to 4. And they're looking for donations of only baked goods. They got enough books, But if you are interested, give Rhonda Thompson a call at the library or stop by. And the rain date for that is September 19th. Again, September 12th, a book and baked goods sale supporting the Ripley Free Library. We're going to take a breather. We're going to be right back with my guest, who's going to talk about some really cool things. Stay tuned.
I am a nurse,
A firefighter, a college student,
a mother.
and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready.
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors
My family.
And my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Well, that was dramatic. I am an earpiece. Imagine what that did to this musician's ears. Like, who knows how much hearing I left after all these years. Oh dear. Now I hear somebody coughing. Okay, folks. Today we have a return guest, a friend of mine, Audrey Dowling. She was here not too long ago.
That's right.
And we were talking about an upcoming event that we'll get to in a second. But you last time were talking about a project we're working called Birds in the Foyer at the Patterson Library. How's that coming along?
It's coming along.
It's coming along.
We had the first firing done, and I have to glaze fire it now,
Okay.
and then put it together. We were originally shooting for October as the month to have it done and unveiled, and the library's not likely to even be open in October.
Oh dear.
So Nancy said that we should probably push it to December.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it'll be all done.
Yeah.
But as far as like installing it
Okay.
and
Well,
unveiling it.
I hope they let us know and we'll announce it here
Yeah,
for sure.
I will.
When you were here, we were talking about that particular project, and then at the end, we were talking about something that we've talked about here before, but we're going to come at it maybe in a little different way. It's called the art trail, and I was thinking about that trail. What is there about the word trail that has a different meaning? It's not art show, it's not art exhibition, it's trail. And it kind of conjures up like the Santa Fe Trail, or like here we have the Chautauqua Rails of Trails. But a trail to me is like going down a path to explore. It has a really cool connotation to it. So what's the background to all this? How did this all come about?
Okay, well, I've been involved kind of in the backstory for quite a long time. Donald and I travel a lot, and we always did art trails in other places. It's sort of a thing that artists do, and they get together in a group and they open up their studios and invite the public to come, and you can go to as many as you want, or you can try and do the entire trail, which is fun because every artist is different and everyone's doing different things. And so we thought, well, this area doesn't have that, and it probably could benefit the regional artists to have it because it works in other places. We've gone to a lot of them, so we knew they were a working thing. So I started gathering up the brochures, and I had an opportunity to work a little bit with Carol Lawrence in the Arts Council, and this goes way back to 2002.
Oh, 18 years.
Yep. And Carol and I got together, put our heads together, figured out ways to get funding, and we came up with this, which is the very first art trail in this region. Not really connected with the current art trail. But in order to get enough funding, we had to involve not only artists, but also a lot of events. And Sue Kellogg, who is a advertising wonder, graphic artist, managed to put together this brochure. It had all kinds of art festivals, it had different art groups, and then it had the art trail with lots of different artists on the back. Many of these artists, by the way, are no longer working in the arts.
Holy mackerel, that was a lot of work.
Yeah, she's got a lot in here. So we did it for 1 year, and then we weren't able to get the funding the second year to do it, so it just sort of lay fallow for a while. And then in 2000 and, let me figure this out, if that was 2008, so probably about 2007, I'm going to guess. It could have been 2008. I got a call from a local artist named Tom Anir, and he and Tom Malinowski, who was also a local artist, thought that they would like to do something with an art trail, and they were aware of the one that we had done through the Arts Council. And he asked if I would be interested in working on it, which I definitely was. And he also had other artists that were interested in working on it. So all of us got together, and I hope I don't leave anyone out. It was Tom Malinowski, Tom Anir, Susan McKay, Nancy Nixon, and signed myself, Trent Ludis. I think that's it. I don't think I'm leaving anyone out, and my apologies if I am.
Always.
And so we got together and figured out, one thing we knew about this is it just had too many things in it.
Right.
It wasn't just a focused art trail. It had lots of art festivals, which was nice too, and galleries as well, but that's how we helped pay for it. But we decided that we would just focus on just the artist. And we sort of built it a little bit around the Allegheny Artisan Tour, which is much older, twice as old as our tour, at least. And it had been going for a lot of years, and I knew the people who worked on it from a different connection with Alfred University. And so I was able to ask them inside information on how they put it together, and they were very forthcoming and very helpful to tell us some of the backstory of how to put one together. So we met several times and ironed it out, and Tom Malinowski, for those who maybe didn't know him, unfortunately he's no longer with us, he was in charge of graphic arts for SUNY Fredonia, had a massive background in that. So we were so lucky that he was available to help guide on that end of things. And I used to have it. I had every year of all these trails, and then I started downsizing, knowing that my kids are going to be traumatized if something happens to Donald and I, and they have all this stuff, of all kinds of stuff. I'm an art person. We collect stuff. At any rate, I downsized most of them away. But I did manage to come up with year 10.
There it is.
And last 2018, I think. 2019, last year's. And this, by the way, year 10 was 2018. So it started back up in 2008.
Wow, quite a history.
And then this year's. I do have this year's.
All right.
And I have my mask here because I just wanted to remind people those coming this year must be masked. And some of the artists, most of the artists, I think, are going to try to be outdoors. At Portage Hill Gallery, we will be sort of outdoors and sort of indoors. My studio is out in the garage, which I will take people out that are interested to go see. They can also see that bird project we were talking about.
Cool.
And where it is right now. I waited to put the final glaze on it because you would be looking, it would be interesting to look at. So I waited until after the trail so you can actually see some of the color that will be on there.
Now, my understanding, when I've talked about the art trail in the past, it's not come on in and buy my stuff. That's part of it, but it's to see how it's done and the effort that it takes to create something of artistic value. Kilns, or in your case, throwing something on a potter's wheel, or the glazes, or wood carving, or whatever the medium is, that they can see what goes behind, all the steps behind it. Because I don't think people appreciate the work that goes into art. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think people have no idea. And it's very funny once people will look at a piece and say, well, how many hours did that take? And, Donald's pat answer is 45 years and 2 art degrees.
Well, but a lot of times people pick up something, they'll look at it and go, well, this is pretty nice, but whoa, they get sticker shock and go, well, I don't even want to make up a price, but they'll just say, wow, that's a lot of money for this little thing, but they don't realize this, you might have like 10 hours into this thing or something.
Yeah, and you also have electric bills, which everyone knows how high they are. Yeah. You have studio fees. Some people pay rent, if you don't already own your place outright. Yeah, a lot of and advertising costs. I mean, the gallery, we spend a lot of money. Yeah. And advertising is a big hunk of it. So, yeah, there's a lot of things people don't consider, don't understand.
It's like we always laugh as musicians. We walk on stage with $5,000 worth of equipment to get paid $50 for the night, which doesn't include your gas or dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a passion, right? I mean,
it's a passion.
You may get rich, or your grandchildren may get rich, because after you're dead, they might find your artwork to be of great value, but generally starving artists and starving musicians, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I've fallen into a pretty lucky zone lately, so I've sold a lot of my work, but
good for you.
That's nice. So I want to make sure we have time. I don't know how much time we have.
We have 28 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We got lots of
So
time.
just make sure you give me at least 20 minutes to focus on this year's.
Well, let's do it right now.
Okay. So this year's trail, and we can bring up the website, correct?
Yeah, let's bring that up, Jeff. Okay. So there you go.
There we go.
Now, how would we find this website?
It is, if you look up in the top there, it says NSAA North Shore, oh no, that's not what it is. It's NSAA Chautauqua.org.
Okay.
Is where you go for this. Of course, you can just Google Chautauqua Lake Erie Art Trail, and I am positive you will find it.
Oh, I never put the Lake Erie part in there. So Chautauqua-Lake Erie Art Trail.
That's because we actually ring both lakes. We're sort of on the northern end of the county, with North Shore Arts Alliance, and but there are some of us that are on Chautauqua Lake.
Oh, okay.
And some of us that are on Lake Erie, and some of us that are in between the two.
Tweener.
Yeah, tweeners. I always said we should say we live either in Westville or Mayfield, because we're exactly halfway between those two communities.
Well, when I think of where you're located, you really are right in between the two lakes.
Exactly.
Your gallery there. And that was the old Portage Trail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, between the two lakes.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, there's great history in that trail, and if I had time, I'd tell you all about it.
All right, so let's talk about this year's
all right,
trail.
So if you want to show if you want to show the artists, can we go to the artist link?
Okay. So where do we go here? Just scroll down through there?
Yeah, meet the artist on Facebook. You can also go to Facebook. And okay, so we start on one end with Leslie Calamiri, and she is in downtown Lakewood. She has a shop, and she has her own work, and she has other artists' work there in the shop. She specializes in painting and drawing, does a lot of local scenes, very talented.
That looks like the lighthouse
lady.
in Westfield, is it?
That is the lighthouse in Westfield, I do believe. And super nice lady. That's a good place to go. Either you start or end there, depending on where you start up on the trail, or you come in the middle, but we like to make sure people try to get to every place.
All right, but before we go any farther, let's put some dates and times to this.
Okay, so it's September 5th and 6th, next weekend.
Next weekend.
10 to 5 each of those 2 days.
Okay, so if I want to go see Leslie, she'll be open at 10 o'clock Saturday and Sunday morning, and you can go into their studio. And again, will she be painting, do you think, or doing something?
I don't know, but she very well might be.
And any of these folks could be actively doing something.
Correct.
And then have works available if they're interested. Okay.
Okay. So as you move along, you get to the gallery at Reverie Creamery. If you love cheese, you've got to go to this place.
Wait a minute. What's cheese got to do with this?
What's love got to do with it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Rico is also a photographer, which maybe not everybody knows that.
Did not know that.
He does black and white photography. He's also a graphic designer. He designed this brochure. And that's not a main business that he does right now. Of course, his main business is the cheese. And but there's all sorts of neat things in that cheese shop too.
Okay,
but,
so they're done on 394.
yeah, and showing with him is James Hoggart. Oh, James, he's one of the ones I forgot that helped start this. I knew there would be some, I knew I had this nagging feeling I forgot somebody. James is a fantastic photographer. It's in the sort of in the style of Ansel Adams. He, believe it or not, is someone who still uses a view camera. You know, those big old boxy cameras that are heavy as heck to carry around. And they have the hood and that goes over your head, and they have a large negative so you can get detail, a big depth of field in the photo.
And so this is across from Chautauqua Campground?
Yeah, right across from Chautauqua Campground. Reverie Creamery.
Okay.
And there'll be art trail signs there. Every one of these will have art trail signs. Okay. And you can pick up these brochures with a map at every single stop, too.
So there's number 2 stop.
All right, next one along is Cynthia Norton. She is a fabric designer extraordinaire. She's right on the grounds of Chautauqua, so you'll have to watch for the instructions signs that will take you to see her.
All right, now, are the grounds open for people to go in there? Do they have to pay to get in there? Or
no.
Okay.
No, they didn't have to this summer anyhow, but this is after season.
Okay.
So no problem.
Because that's the first question people always ask me.
Yep.
All right.
So, no fee.
So what? So I see like what is it? A jacket?
A jacket.
Okay.
Yeah. And her really exceptional clothing, beautiful stuff. Cynthia lived a big hunk of her life in New York City, and she has very sophisticated clothing for well-dressed women.
Okay.
And the next one along is Kirsten Engstrom. She is in downtown Mayville. A lot of people know her work because she has them spread all over Chautauqua Institution. They're made out of cement, they're very large, and the faces and hands are made out of clay.
They're out in the front yard, aren't they?
Yeah, she's got them right out in the front yard.
394, I mean?
And last time I went by, she was actually working on one in her front yard, so she'll probably still be working on one. Then there's a bit of a sort of a off of 394, and you can go to Reno Pottery. Reno Pottery is one of the very first artists we had as active artists surviving solely on their artwork in the county, and they have been making pots for years and years. Jim has added painting. He does abstract paintings, sort of Picasso-esque, for lack of a better descriptor.
Yeah, I can see that.
And nice people, a lot of fun, good place to go.
All right, and let's see how you pronounce it. Where they're at?
Where, DeWittville?
Some people say DeWittville, and some people say Dewitville.
Oh, okay. Well, I must be right? No, I have no idea.
I'm just curious how you say it.
I have no idea.
Now, people who are watching or listening right now are saying, well, this is all fine. I can't remember all this stuff. How do they get a brochure? Or they go online, but are there places?
Or they can go to any one of these. We all have brochures.
Okay, so if you start at one of them, you get the brochure and there's a map.
Right.
Okay, keep on going.
Okay, so then you hop from Reno's, you hop back onto Route 394, sort of by Dart Field, if that helps people figure out how to get back there. And you turn right, and next person you come to is my place.
All right.
Portage Hill Art Gallery. As we mentioned before, exactly halfway between Mayville and Westfield on the hill. So if you're coming from the Mayville direction, you see our little shop, which is an antique shop, and the Quilliam Road on the right-hand side. We're just as the curve and the road starts to drop down, we're on the left-hand side. And we have a pretty good-sized parking lot that we actually paved this year.
Whoa.
I was waiting. I didn't want to use regular paving because that's not good for the environment, so I use millings.
Yes, a lot of people use that.
So it has a bit of more penetration, so it's a little less bad for the environment, plus it's recycled product.
There you go.
So we have a pretty large parking area. Karen Glosser normally shows with me, beautiful photography. I have a lot of her photography in the gallery. She won't be there in person this particular trail because there's illness in her parents.
So what will you be doing that day yourself?
Well, I will be double duty. I will be in the gallery itself, plus I have Deborah Eck coming to work with me, helping me out. She'll be in the gallery as well, and then anyone who wants to go out and look at the studio, I will take them out to look at the studio.
Now, I'm going to interject here. I've been to your studio a few times, and you see more than ceramics. You see paintings and ceramics, and what else?
Mixed media.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I print make. Or are you talking about everybody in general?
Yeah,
I mean, everyone in general.
I'm talking about your
Oh, just my work.
Yeah.
Okay. My main things are painting and ceramics, one of a kind, and some functional work as well.
I see jewelry. I think I remember jewelry.
There's jewelry. Not, I didn't do it, but there's.
But
jewelry.
what I mean is, there's a variety of things there.
Yeah, all kinds
Something
of
for
things.
everybody.
Yep, all different price ranges. And we specialize in originals, so every piece hanging on the wall, whether I did it or another regional artist did it, they're all originals.
Very nice.
Plus, there's several art trail people that I have their work at the gallery.
Okay.
Okay, so we're moving along. On Main Street in Westfield, there is Living Glass Gallery, which is owned by Denise Williams. Her piece is on the left there. It's a little hard to see, but it's a hummingbird made out of glass. She does stained glass work and other work. And she is going to have a painter named Jill Matson there with her. Jill, I don't know that well, but you have to be good. You have to be accepted into this trail. So your work is good if you're on this trail.
Wow. Who decides? You guys?
We have a committee that we jury it.
Okay.
What's called jury.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we move along and we get up to the Fredonia area.
Okay.
Now, as you mentioned, we're starting to go into grape season, and there's starting to be all kinds of nice stuff. You could stop along the way and get fresh vegetables. And a lot of little fruit stands I noticed on 20, just mom and pop fruit stands. So
good stuff.
It's a great time to be driving around this north end of the county.
Yeah, it's a great day to drive around and see everything, plus the art, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So now when you get to Fredonia, if we can get back, okay.
Here we are.
There is Lee's Wooden Ceramics on Chestnut Street. Rhonda Lee and Ted Lee. Rhonda does the woodwork and Ted does ceramic work.
So she turns wood.
She turns wood, yep.
This I know. These things I know.
Yep.
Okay.
From them, you can go to 42 Rosalind Court, which is Nitty Gritty Work Studio.
Oh, that's a cool name.
See the really cool, interesting, fun work of Marcia Marins out of clay. She also does raku animals as well. She may be demonstrating. I'm not 100% sure.
Marcia's been here. We've seen her work.
Yep.
She's been right here in this room.
She's also the president of the organization. I would like to mention that because she puts in a ton of time keeping this going. And up there with her will be Nancy Nixon Ensign, who is the vice president and puts in a ton of time to keep this organization going.
And she's from Westfield area
From
originally.
Westfield, yeah. I do have some of her work in the gallery as well. And Susan Gutierrez, I hope I'm saying that last name correctly, whom I don't know that well. However, she's been a local painter for a while, and just these last few years I've been watching her painting, and it's just getting better and better and better, and it's really super stuff at this point.
Great.
Okay, so then from there, Thomas Lanier on Central Avenue in Fredonia, who has been, I think I mentioned him earlier. He was the one who said, hey, let's get an art trail going again. He does landscapes, plein air painting, which means he goes out on location.
Fresh air. Plein air means fresh air. Like
And a lot of the Chautauqua County scenes. He also travels a lot to national parks. So I'm assuming you'll also see national parks there. And then we have number 17 is Dale Anderson, and I don't know why he didn't get on there. Dale, there he is.
There he is.
Okay, on yours it's reversed. On mine it is the other way. I believe that Tom Janick's photography is with Tom Lanier. So there probably was a mistake here on this one brochure.
Okay.
So Tom Janick photography. He does fantastic photography. He's actually teaches science at SUNY Fredonia, but photography I think has been a passion of his. It's beautiful. It's really truly beautiful work, and a lot of it is local. And then the last one of all is Dale Anderson, who lives in Forestville. Dale uses his welder and he welds together all kinds of neat things into neat outdoor sculpture, very well done.
Very cool.
So really you can start on either end or in the middle.
Or do half one day and one half the other day?
A lot of people do half one day, half the other.
Okay.
And there are lots of places to stop and have lunch.
Okay.
I don't know so much
Take a breath.
about-
We have a caller.
Okay.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Doc. Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning.
Audrey, it's great to see you on the show. Your beautiful art.
Oh,
and
thanks.
I have to come in and see everything that you have. What you're showing now, the displays are really
Thank
beautiful. They're just beautiful. Doc, I wanted to ask you about the Wickville, how you pronounce it. I want to, it's kind of like hotel and hotel.
Right. Tomato, tomato.
Hotel or hotel. So, yeah, people have different ways of pronouncing things. It's interesting.
You know, my sister-in-law, I won't say which sister-in-law, but she said that she had to go to a town east of here, and she said, I had to go to Jerry. I said, oh, don't ever say that. And she looked so offended and hurt. I says, I'm trying to save your life. It's Gary, New York.
Well, and here, too, in Chautauqua, like the old places like the Ithaca and a lot of the older buildings, they used to call them boarding cottages. And they all had to serve food, and they did. They had restaurants within them.
Wow.
But some people will say boarding house, and I'll say, no, boarding cottage.
There you go. Get it right.
Or there's also Crick and Creek.
Oh,
around
gosh.
here.
Oh, that's right. Right.
I was raised on 3 creeks. There wasn't a crick in sight.
Well, I'm going to have to stop in your studio.
Great.
We live in a very beautiful part of the world and the country that we have
Absolutely.
such natural beauty that can inspire us, and we can do things with it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love it here. I wanted to mention that we are putting people back to work. They're coming back to their work sites with the Senior Employment Program at the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging, and I do have openings, and people should call, and I would be very happy to set up an appointment and set things up. Hopefully we could meet with people outside at some point. I'm planning on doing that. We have great space there in Mayville, the benches, etc. And there are other services with the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging for seniors, and the number to call is 753-4471.
Linda, let me ask you a question. We haven't really broached this in a long time, but who are you looking for? Not what the position is, but what person do you have in mind that you say, I could offer you work? Who are they?
Well, we have a variety of people with a variety of interests. It isn't just one particular type. It's actually, our target group is, they are seniors who are not working, and by seniors, 55 years of age is where we start, and this is funded by the Department of Labor. People who are looking for work if they've lost their job, if this place went out of business, people who want to improve their standard of living, who are looking for work. The people that I serve want to work. Now, sometimes they want a career change. They may have a background of maybe a machinist or a supervisor for a company, et cetera, and they may want something completely different. It's personalized according to what their interests are. And sometimes they don't know when they come to see me, so we offer different career options. We look back at previous experiences, and it could possibly even be volunteer work. I had a man who he had a wonderful job, and he supervised many people at a very large company. And he said to me, Linda, I don't want to think anymore.
Done.
And so I got him a really great job. He got a job for a cleaning company. They cleaned factories in the area, and he did such marvelous work. And they wanted him to be a supervisor, to supervise other people. He refused.
He was done with that part of his life.
Yeah, been there, done that. Like,
just want to be the regular person.
It all depends what you want.
Yeah.
Whether you may have a hobby that you want to turn into a career. So we explore with the people, but of course our target population are veterans.
Okay.
That is rather our target population.
Super.
That's well, really anybody, but we are required to serve a veteran before anyone else, and I'm very happy to do that because of what they give up for us.
Well, Lynn, thanks for what you do for folks here in Chautauqua County, and thanks for calling in.
Well, thank you, and I think it's a gift that I'm able to do this.
Great. Well, I'm happy to talk about it with you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
All right, have a wonderful weekend and week, and enjoy the sunshine out there.
All right, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay. So,
All right.
so maybe somebody's out there right now listening that has this latent skill or desire to be an artist. Maybe they could eventually
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Art reaches a lot of people, and you asked me, why art?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that I've been sort of watching the schools of recent, because you and I both have a school background.
Yes, we do.
That's how I knew John Hamels. He was one of the principals I worked with. That's probably how we first met.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, we first met, I was an artist in residence, and I came to BOCES, and I did a tile project with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you and Bob Terryberry were running a classroom. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's really the first time I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And later you became the principal in the building that I worked in.
Right.
One of the
then I was a regional administrator, and,
Right.
and you were in the gifted talent programs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway, so I've been watching the school reopening
mm-hmm.
and reading some of the research on, because I'm interested in teaching too, in kids. I love kids.
Mm-hmm.
And reading some of the research on and what's behind the opening and what they should be thinking about. And they actually have said in more than one place that schools really should be focusing on the arts when they first come back together. And part of the reason thinking for that, rather than doing heavy-duty academics immediately, is the kids have to heal first.
What an interesting concept. Yeah, that makes sense.
And arts are healing.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly well-taught art, where where you're actually having the student look within and come out with something from within. And it's therapeutic and especially if taught by the right person.
Well, my background working with a lot of students with a lot of difficulties over the years, art was always, and used the word therapeutic, and going within was where they could either get out bad memories, anger, hostility, and even if the whatever the creation was something that was pretty telling, but very what's the word? Like even horrific. Mm-hmm. It was getting it out, and they could put it outside of themselves and share that. And sometimes there's no words for it, but a picture, a painting, artwork, whatever, will kind of express it for people.
It can. It also can be joyful.
Yeah.
And give the student time to self-express in a joyful way, and not immediately be traumatized by, the academics. And you know me, I'm a pretty intellectual kind of gal, and I definitely taught gifted ed for most of my career. But even with when I taught gifted ed, I always put a lot of arts and creative. The creative part of the mind is a great thing to keep active and use in lots of different ways.
During this pandemic that we're experiencing right now, have you seen a resurgence or reactivation or new interest in the arts with adults?
Oh, I think so. I mean, there's been a lot of shows that have that I've entered actually and had work in, some of which are international, on art that has been created during the time of COVID. And I just got a piece actually in the Buffalo Society of Artists catalog show that'll be opening soon. And I had been following on Facebook, you know me, I read Facebook.
Yes, I do.
One of our relatives is a nurse, and she had written a really heartfelt thing of what it felt like. This was before PPE was readily available, and she was a nurse sort of in the New York area. And she posted a picture of herself, and she had taken off her mask and her glasses and stuff, and you could see the lines on her face where it had dug in.
And across the nose, your hair.
Yeah, and she had written about how exhausted everybody was in the healthcare at that time, and I just could feel it. I mean, I could feel it in my bones. And when I was reading it, and then I didn't really think about it for a couple of days, and then one morning I woke up with this great intense feeling about her and healthcare people and what they were going through. And I got up and I did a portrait, not exactly of her, but a person, a healthcare person with a mask, and then I sort of abstracted around it, just trying to capture the feeling of exhaustion.
Yeah.
And I think I did it pretty well, actually. I think it really, people
I've
look
never
at
seen
it.
anything that wasn't well done by you.
Well, thank you. So that piece will be in that show, and I've had some that were out of the UK. There was a show out of the UK.
You know,
I
I have a little note here that I wrote down before the show, and I wrote legacy or memorializing, and that's what you just did. You took what the times are now and you memorialized it as a legacy for people to come. Because a few years from now, it's all going to kind of go away. Yeah. And when people are going to go back and look at that, they're going to say, what's the backstory on this? Why was, and boy, it's just going to conjure up a lot of memories for a lot of people, for sure. Audrey, you brought some artwork here, and we've got about 2.5 minutes. So,
okay.
It would be terrible to have a talk about art without showing some art. So what you got here?
Okay. Well, first, before I get to that, I just want to say my own artwork. I noticed during this COVID time that I'm going a lot more abstract, and I didn't bring any with me. What I did is I knew I was coming. I wasn't sure how the timing was going to work. So I went into my studio. I literally grabbed some pieces that I've been working on that I just finished up. So that's what this is. So this piece is, thank you, is a piece, I just took a course in called poussoir. And poussoir is a sort of a stenciling process, and this is one of the pieces that I did as part of that course. That was a lot of fun. I had won a scholarship from a international contest for block printing to go for a week at Anderson Ranch in Colorado, which is right near Aspen.
Oh,
and I was
tough duty.
The mountains, I can't wait. Mountain air, which I love, and I love the mountains, and COVID happened.
Yep.
So I had to take it online, but they did a terrific job.
Good. What else you got?
All right. So I do the lake in front of our cottage all the time, and so this is a painting that, these are actually, I have a series of these. Here's another one, not quite as wild that day. This one, it was pretty acting up, what I call kicking up, when Lake Erie gets itself going.
For sure.
Last night it was going.
It was going, that's for sure.
I had my window partway open, it was like, boom, boom.
This other one's pretty colorful, look at this.
Yeah, this one is fun. This is just called Summer Fun. And
look at the
it's, it's the birds, fish, things we have around here in Chautauqua County.
That's definitely Chautauqua County. Beautiful. Yeah. Cattails and everything.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we got less than a half a minute left. So let's give the art trail one more shot here. Times and places.
Okay. Labor Day weekend instead of Memorial Day because of COVID. And so it is going to be Friday, or I'm sorry, don't say that. Don't say that.
Strike
it's
that.
Not going to be Friday. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 5 each of those 2 days, Saturday and Sunday of Labor Day weekend.
Okay. And if you stop at one of those places, the studios, you can get a map and you can see where everybody else is. So Audrey, thanks for coming by and sharing the art trail again this year. I always love talking about art and just all that sort of thing. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, John.
You have a great art show and Labor Day weekend. Folks, we're going to do it all again, as I say, every week. Next Saturday morning right here on Access Chautauqua, 1301 on Spectrum. And have a great weekend. Stay dry. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow. And be safe. And as always, wear those masks. Take care. Bye-bye now.